Waking up, commuting, hitting your metrics, scrolling, sleeping, repeating. If you live in a modern society, you are moving at a velocity that previous generations couldn't even conceptualize. You are incredibly busy, yet there is a heavy, lingering exhaustion that never seems to clear. We call this the track. From an early age, we are handed a strict set of expectations. Secure your degree, secure your job, build your portfolio, and keep your economic output trending upward. Constant forward momentum is the baseline requirement. But inside, that constant motion feels completely hollow. You hit the milestones you were told to hit, but the promised sense of satisfaction never arrives. The harder you press the gas pedal, the more meaningless the destination feels. Burnout is the inevitable psychological friction of running on a societal treadmill designed to maximize speed while completely ignoring direction. To understand how we got locked into this cycle, look at South Korea in the 1960s. The government ordered the construction of the Gyeongbu Expressway, a massive physical manifestation of the need to accelerate. The numbers behind this project are staggering. Builders laid down 416 kilometers of pavement in exactly 2.5 years, costing 42.9 billion won. A grueling 12-hour train ride from Seoul to Busan shrank into a simple day trip by car. But demanding that speed had severe consequences. The construction schedule was so punishing that 77 workers died to ensure the road opened on time. The mandate was clear. Progress requires velocity, and safety is a secondary concern. Today, that exact same impulse to keep driving forward at all costs is blinding us to an existential threat. A recent report from a multinational research team at Cambridge University exposes how our obsession with continuous economic momentum is making us willfully ignore the worst-case climate models. This data visualization shows the current focus of the scientific community. The towering section represents the massive volume of research dedicated to managing 1.5 to 2.0 degrees of global warming. Down here near zero is the research exploring what happens if we crossing 3 degrees, the threshold for total societal collapse. The authors of the report label this massive blind spot fatal foolishness. We are refusing to study human extinction scenarios because acknowledging them would require us to slow down our economic engines. We are choosing to drive 100 miles per hour into a thick fog, actively refusing to look at the cliff we are rapidly approaching. This animated diagram scales the entirety of Earth's 4.6 billion year history onto a single 24-hour clock face. We begin at midnight. For the first few hours, the planet is a completely inhospitable, molten rock. The planet cools, the first oceans form, and the very first single-celled life forms finally emerge around 4 a.m. From there, evolution takes an agonizingly long time. Plant life and complex animals don't show up until late in the evening. The dinosaurs have a brief reign before going completely extinct at 11:39 p.m. Humanity does not arrive on this clock until 11:58 p.m. Every empire you've read about, the construction of the Gyeongbu Expressway, the entire Industrial Revolution, and our current climate crisis all occurred within the final tiny fractions of the last minute. Recognizing this temporal insignificance shatters the arrogant illusion that human progress is the central purpose of planet Earth. We are a brief, late addition to an incredibly ancient rock. To understand our physical scale, we have to look out to 1990. The Voyager 1 space probe was 6.1 billion kilometers away, drifting out toward the very edge of our solar system. The astronomer Carl Sagan pushed for a highly controversial directive. He wanted NASA to command the probe to turn its camera backward, toward the inner solar system, and take one final photograph of our home planet. This is the image it captured. Earth is a fragile 0.12 pixel speck of pale blue light, suspended in a massive, overwhelming void, caught in an accidental beam of scattered sunlight. Every single human being who ever lived, every king, every peasant, every creator, and every destroyer, lived out their lives entirely within the boundaries of that microscopic pixel. Understanding our spatial vastness proves a terrifying reality. If we cause our own extinction, no external force from the universe is coming to save us. In the 1930s, the French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre gave a name to the profound discomfort that comes from realizing how small we are. He called it nausea. Nausea is the disorienting physical realization that the universe is entirely indifferent to you. When you strip away our job titles, our highways, and our economic metrics, you find a universe devoid of any pre-written script or inherent meaning. Facing this absolute void of inherent meaning and acknowledging our constructed illusions is a painful but necessary step before we can figure out how to survive. Here is where existentialism pivots. Precisely because the universe did not give us a predestined meaning, we hold absolute, radical freedom to choose our own path. We write the script. Sartre argued that avoiding this freedom is an act of cowardice, which he called bad faith. Bad faith is pretending you have no agency. It is telling yourself you have to blindly run on the societal treadmill because that's just the way the world works. When the scientific community refuses to study 3-degree climate collapse scenarios because the global economy must keep growing, they are acting in bad faith. They are pretending that an invented economic rule is a law of physics. True existential responsibility requires the exact opposite. If we are truly free, we have to look directly at the cliff ahead. We must completely own the catastrophic consequences of our actions on a planetary scale. Cosmic insignificance provides the exact philosophical mandate for absolute ownership of our survival, leaving no room for nihilism. Bring that immense scale back down to your morning commute, back to that heavy, lingering exhaustion. This exhaustion is a rational, healthy realization that the high-speed track we've been promised is a dangerous illusion. You are experiencing the first visceral moments of choosing to step off. When Carl Sagan looked at that pale blue dot, he left us with a final mandate. Our extreme smallness in the dark void only underscores our ultimate responsibility to deal kindly with one another and to preserve the only home we have ever known. We find our purpose in the active, radically free choice to protect and build upon our tiny pixel right now. Our survival depends on what we decide today.